Hello guys, welcome to another session of Math. Let's look at this problem. Find x if 3 raised to the power 2x minus 30 into bracket 3 raised to the power x minus 2 plus 1 is equal to 0. How are you going to get the value of x from this equation? Well, those of you who can pause the video and try. Or let's get started to find out how it's done, okay? But first, let's write our solution. Okay, so let's bring this equation down here. Alright, to get the value of x from this equation, we have to use the substitution approach. We will find another variable to replace this 3 raised to the power x and not 3 raised to the power x minus 2. Okay, but how are we going to do that? Well, we are going to first rewrite this one as 3 raised to the power x. We put that one in the bracket, then we power it with 2. Then we also rewrite this one as 3 raised to the power x times 3 raised to the power minus 2. Okay? Alright? Here, we can do the substitution from here, but for me, I'm not going to do the substitution right from here. Okay? I'm just going to find a means to, eliminate this one before I will do the substitution. You can do the substitution before you eliminate this one, but for me, I'm going to find a means to eliminate this one before I do the substitution. Okay, so to eliminate this one, I'm just going to rewrite this one as 3 raised to the power x over 9. Why? Because this 3 raised to the power minus 2 is the same thing as from the negative index law, is the same thing as 1 out of 9. And when you multiply 1 out of 9 by 3 raised to the power x, you're going to get 3 raised to the power x divided by 9. Okay? Alright? Here, we have to eliminate this fraction. We have to eliminate this fraction. So we are actually going to eliminate the fraction by multiplying it through by 9. Why? Because the 9 is the LCM here. Okay, so we are going to multiply this equation by 9. Okay, so multiply through by 9. So let's multiply it through. Alright, here we are not going to multiply this by this and then we later open the bracket to do the cancellation. No, we are not going to do it that way. We're just going to multiply this one by this one, and then whatever you get, we will multiply by this one in the next step. Okay, so this by this, will surely cancel out. This 9 will cancel out with this 9. This 9 will cancel out with this 9 here. Okay, and to be left with this 3 raised to the power x. Okay, alright, when you compare this equation with the original one, this one is very, very simple to do the substitution as compared to the other ones, though all of them are all very simple. But when you do the substitution from here, that one is very simple and easy to understand, and everyone will know why you are doing the substitution, or maybe everyone will understand what is replacing what you are substituting the variable for. Okay, so as I said, we are going to let another variable replace 3 raised to the power x. 3 raised to the power x So you're going to let u be equal to 3 raised to the power what? X. If you don't do that substitution, you find it difficult finding the value of what? X. So you're going to let u be equal to 3 raised to the power x. Now let's replace this 3 raised to the power x with this word u. Alright, now u squared minus 30u minus 9 is equal to 0. This one is a quadratic equation. So how are we going to find the value of what? U. Well, since it's a quadratic equation, we can use the factorization method, the quadratic formula, or the completing square method. But here we are going to use what? The factorization approach. But first we are just going to reduce the figures involved in what? The equation. So we are going to multiply this equation by 1 out of 3. Okay. So multiply through by 1 out of 3. So let's multiply through by 1 out of 3. Alright. So here, let's open the bracket. When you open the bracket, this time this will give us 3u squared. This time this one will give us 10u. And then this time this one will give us what? 3. This time this will give us what? 0. Okay? Alright. Here, to use the factorization method, we are just going to multiply the coefficient of u squared by this constant. Then we find factors of that constant. Then we use it to replace what? This 10u here. Okay, so 3 times 3 will give us what? 9. It's positive. So what are the factors of 9? That when you multiply it will give you 9, but when you sum up it will give you this minus 10 here. That is minus 1 and then minus 9. Okay, so you're going to replace this one with what? Minus 9 and then minus 1. Okay. Alright, so here we're going to bracket this one and this and also this and this. Okay. Alright, so here you're just going to bring the common factor outside. But how are you going to do that? We're just going to find out what is here and at the same time here. Then we bring that one out. Okay. 3 is here, but 3 can also go into 9. So we bring 3 out. U, here we're having u squared and also we're having another u here. So we can also bring u out. So this one we're going to bring 3u outside. And when you bring 3u outside, here it will be left with what? U. Here it will be left with u, and then this one to be left with what? 3. Okay. Now with this one, what are we going to bring outside? Well, this one is u and this one is what? 3. We are just going to bring 1 outside. Okay. When we bring 1 outside here, and I don't know if they will open in the bracket, it's going to give us what? The step before this one. Okay. So we just have to bring what? 1 outside. So that this one and this one will be what? The same after the common factor has been what? Brought outside. Okay. Alright. Now, here we are having u minus 3 and then here also we are having u minus 3. So how are you going to find the value of u? Well, before we do that, I'm just going to take this one and also this one, then we bracket that one also. Then this and this, we just pick one of them. Then we multiply it by the bracket of this and then this. Okay. Alright. So this times this is equal to 0. To get the value of x, we're just going to equate this one to 0 and also later on equate this one to 0. Okay. So first you're going to equate 3u minus 1 to 0. Alright, 3u minus 1 is equal to 0. Well, we will just send this -1 to this side, and when it crosses the equal sign, it will be what? Positive. Okay, so you're gonna get 3u is equal to 1. Then we divide both sides by 3, and that will give us u is equal to 1 out of 3. 1 out of 3. So the value of u from the equation is what? 1 out of 3. That is the first value. So let's move on to the other one. Or, okay, u minus 3 is equal to 0. So what is the value of u? So u is equal to 3. U is equal to 3. U is equal to 3. But u is not, the value of u is not the actual answer that we are looking for. We just do the substitution. So we are just going to equate what we substituted the u for to this one, to get, in order to get the value of what? X. Okay, but u is equal to 3 raised to the power x. 3 raised to the power what? X. 3 raised to the power x equal to 1 out of 3 is equal to 1 out of 3 is equal to 1 out of 3. You know, from the values of u, from the first one we had 1 out of 3, and the value, we remember we substituted 3 raised to the power x for what? U. Okay, so to get the value of x, we have to bring that 3 raised to the power x back. Okay, so from this one, to get the value of x, we have to rewrite this one using the negative index law for indices, and that one, this will give us what? 3 raised to the power -1. Okay, from here x is equal to -1. X is equal to -1 by exponential equation. X is equal to -1. X is equal to -1. So from the first one, from the first values, we have gotten x equal to -1. Okay, but don't forget that the values of u, we had 2. So let's compare the other one also. Or 3x is equal to 3. 3x is equal to 3. 3x is equal to 3. Now, this one is very simple. You know, the power of this one, when it is not written, it is what? 1. Okay, so by exponential equation, x is equal to 1. X is equal to 1. So therefore, the value of x from the original equation is -1 or +1. -1 or +1. Why? Because the 1 out of 3 and the 3 that we had for u is not the actual value for what? X. Those ones were to help us get the actual value of what? X. So when you do substitution and you get the value for that variable, the value for that variable that you have gotten is not the solution to the original question, but it is the solution to what? The equation you generated from the original equation using what? The substitution what? Method. Okay, so when you get that substitution, when you get those values, you have to equate it to what you substituted that variable for. And then when you equate it to that, then you do comparison, or maybe then you compute, or maybe you do the algebra to get the value for what? X. Okay, so the value of x from the original equation, or the value of x from the equation, is what? -1 or +1. You know, when you go back to the original equation and we put -1 there, at the end of the day, you could see that both left and right hand side will be what? The same. Or when you put +1 there, you could also see that both left and right hand side will be what? The same. Okay, all right. So all right, that's it, guys. Please, if you like this video, kindly give it a thumbs up, subscribe and comment. Thanks for watching.